Welcome to the first in a series of tutorials about Canvabadges in Canvas. We're going to start this series by telling you how to add a Canva badge to your course. This first tutorial is going to show you how to add an auto-awarded badge to a Getting Started module in your course. So to do that, we're going to click on Modules once you're inside your course. You'll notice I have my content already built for the module. If I click to the right of the Getting Started, I click on the plus icon. This is going to show me the various types of content that are available. The default position is usually assignments. So what we'll do is click on that list and choose External Tool, which is at the bottom of the list. And this will show all of the different types of tools available. We want to click on Canvabadges. Now we already have Canvas Orientation Badge loaded, so I want to choose that from my existing list. So I'm going to click on the name, and it takes me back to the previous page. If I scroll down, you'll notice that the name of it was put into the page name and the URL is there. We're going to leave the rest of the settings as default and click Add Item. Now to set my settings and define my criteria for this badge, we're going to click on the name of the badge we just made. So to do the creation, first of all, you'll notice under badge icon, the link is there because we chose an existing badge. Use the badge designer as an option for you. There's a separate tutorial where you can build your own using a really neat tool that's inside of Canvabadges. What we want to do is talk about what's next. Next is really giving a basic description that gives us an idea of what was done to earn the badge. So this is just a quick overview. I would type, in this case, satisfactory completion of Canvas orientation. And that's just an overview. What I want under the explanation of requirements is to really list what the student had to do. So I would probably type student must, colon, and then I'm going to return and list 3 things. View all pages. I'm going to hit enter. Complete syllabus acknowledgement. And then last is complete introduction discussion. These are the 3 things that we had to do. Now, what that means for us is technically I want us to go back into the module and set some requirements that gauges whether or not the student has done what they're supposed to get that auto award to happen. And we'll do that after we set up our badge. So first we're going to go through the rest of the settings. So this just told us when somebody clicks on the badge later on their profile page, this information will display so they know what they had to do to earn it. For approximate hours of completion, as it says here, it's not enforced. It's strictly for reference. So in this case, we might say, it's about 2 hours. So I'm going to put a 2 here. If you know that there's a lot of work involved, there's reading, watching videos, producing something, taking an exam, and you know that it's about 5 hours of work, then you want to put a best guesstimate there so the student knows what type of time to plan to get the work done. There's a couple of settings here that we could look at. Evidence, so this requires a URL. We're going to skip that for this one because we're doing an auto award. We're not doing any manual awarding. So we're going to show that in the next tutorial. For this one, I want to go on down to where it has grade cutoff. You could say that the student has to earn an 80% on the graded work. And so if you had a manual item like, say, the introductions discussion, and they have to earn an 80%, you could say that it was 80%. If it's got to be a cumulative grade for the module. So if there is a quiz, that means that together the entire performance in that module has to be 80%. So you can set that threshold if you want. In our case, I just want them to complete it. I want them to have submissions done, that they've gone through and experienced that information so they're ready to be my student in my online course. For requiring completion, that's the important part here. We're going to make sure we check Getting Started because we're going to set the requirements. And then what's going to happen is when we set those requirements and the student achieves those, it lets the badging system know that they're allowed to claim their badge. So we're going to go through those steps. So once I've clicked Getting Started, I'm going to scroll down to the public checkbox. This says that the badge will be listed in the organization's public badge directory. So when I went and we went through and we chose the badge from the list, it was there because we checked this box. If you don't check it because maybe you don't want other people to see it, as long as the achievement in the course and the badge is sort of a gold star for doing something specifically in your course, then it really won't matter. However, if it is for something like a getting started, and another instructor might want to give the student a chance to not have to take the getting started module again, having it displayed publicly means that an instructor could click on that on the student's profile page and see the criteria to know if they met the requirements they have as well. Otherwise, if it stays private, they can't see what those requirements were. It will block the information from being viewed by anyone. So you need to make that choice if you want it to be public or stay private. I'm going to go ahead and say list this badge publicly, and then I'm going to save my badge settings. So we went in and we saved it. The badge has been saved and the requirements are set, as you can see up top. What I want to do right now, though, is I want to go back to my module because I need to set those requirements for this module so the student is stopped from progressing to get the badge without finishing the work. To do that, I clicked on modules. I'm going to come up here to the gear that's to the right of the module name and click edit. What I want to do is set my requirements. So what I'm going to do is click add requirement. And the first box or radial button that's checked is students must complete all of these requirements. That's what I want. I want them to move through the content and the pages, and I want them to submit to my 2 assignments. So for the first item that's listed is welcome. That's the first item in the module. And sometimes I might just move this to the side so I can remember what my pages are that are kind of behind this little box. Now I want to add another requirement, and I want to add the next page, which is meet your instructor, and it's view the item because it's just a page. I'm going to continue to do this until all of my pages are chosen. So my 4th page would be emergency, and then next would be the student resources, and you'll have to scroll within the box here, add a requirement, and I'm going to choose expectations. Now that's all of the pages. I still want to add my 2 assignments that are in here. So I'm going to click add requirement and scroll down. And I want to change this to be my syllabus acknowledgement. And I want the student to have submitted to the assignment. I'm not going to base it on a score. I just want them to submit and then they can earn the badge. But they also have to submit the introduction. So I chose one more add, introductions. And again, please note the difference. There's a contribute to the page, which means they could go in and just contribute to replying to something, but not really submitting their own. Their submission means that they've made their initial post. That is their response. Replies don't count, at least as far as how you want to grade them. So we're going to click submit the assignment. I'm done. I've added all of my contents that are here in my module. So I'm going to click update module. In this case, I am in a test course, but if a student had somehow gotten in to start to look at materials and you hadn't set the badge up yet, you can relock those modules so that it can flag whether or not they've finished them. So that's something that you have the option of doing. Now, in order for the student to claim their badge when they're done, you do have to publish the badge. So I have to make sure I publish it. There is a tutorial that's also created that shows how a student would progress through the module and then claim their badge, and you can refer to that module to follow up on this one.